This year, we saw a number of luxury brands enter the esports space. During this session, Pia Schörner of BMW Esports, along with Kevin Hughes of SPJ and TEO, will discuss reaching consumers through esports and what BMW's massive global deal means for the brand and for esports.
All right. So, hey, BMW got their feet wet in the esports scene in 2017, becoming the official partner of the European League of Legends Championship Series. We now call it, the LEC. How did that entry into esports affect future decisions and continue in the space? And what did BMW see as the biggest benefit from that?
Well, Kevin, that's a good question. And let me say thank you for being here today and be your guest. And, brands like BMW are always aiming for new fields to conquer. And it's always helpful to do first test run at an early stage. So that's why we decided to partner the League of Legends Championships in 2017. And let me say, that was a quick, but honestly spoken, a really cool activation. So that's why we gained a lot of experience in terms of esports and especially in terms of the esports community. So the dimension around the whole esports area is so much bigger than expected, especially for us. So we learned about how important it is to be part of that, because there's so much opportunities for us to catch up with the future. So however, it took some time to further and to plan the next steps, because, we are an automotive company. So it's not the natural thing to do something like esports for us. So it took some time to convince the BMW board that we really need to be part of the esports community. We started with sim racing also last year. This is something which really fits BMW because it comes from motorsports, but also the field of esports is so important to us. But however, in 2019, our US colleagues did the very first steps. So they partnered Cloud9, which was great for us and which just gave us the chance to enter the complete field of esports. So we partnered 5 of the most important teams of the world. And we still love to work with them and hopefully more to come.
Yeah, no, that it's what you're referring to, I believe, is that United in Rivalry activation that you did with those five teams. And looking at it, it's one of the most ambitious partnerships I've ever seen in esports history, spanning 5 countries and 3 continents. Can you just walk me through how that deal even came about, and how do you guys feel about it afterwards, now being able to look back?
Sure, and good to hear that you also like our campaign. So, our target was the implementation of a buzzing narrative, something what is really strong in communication. So, and also it needs to give an equal room to all 5 teams. So, because it's not just the teams, it's also in their communication. So that was the point. So each team is special in a cultural, also in their way how they communicate. So as different as our teams are, the word united is in our campaign shows that our teams are all united in what separates them, the will to succeed. And pushing rivalry, the second buzzword in our campaign, always leads to higher performance among all competitors and more excitement for the fans. So united in rivalry sets the tone and the real ambition of BMW as partner. So contributing to the community and ultimately to the performance of the teams. And it works. That's the point. And our teams and the esports community loves this narrative. And the full range of activation and communication communities which comes along with that. And let me tell you, we are still overwhelmed, really overwhelmed on the impressive launch stats and announcement sentiments afterwards we are still having, because I think the main reason why it worked so well is the fact that rivalry is something what is a day-to-day part of the esports community and of the esports teams. So we just merely help to make it more prominent. And the themes, the fans, everybody who breathes lives into it, they are a full part of it. And the usage of the hashtags United in Rivalry still works 6 months after the launch. So we are happy and we are really looking forward what is coming in future.
And I have to ask, how difficult was it to get all 5 teams on board with the same program?
That's a
I know
really,
Carlos
really
and
good,
Jack. Yeah.
that's a really, really, really good question. That's a really good question. You know, we are a well-known brand. That's a really good thing for us, and it's a really good opportunity to get into a discussion with these teams. And I think the main thing was to promise that our goal is not a simple logo or product placement,
Yes.
because this is something which nobody is interested in the community as well in the teams. So we promise this is not our goal. We want to be part of it. We want to be part of your teams. We want to give you benefits. We want to push you. And that's the reason why we could convince everybody of them. And it's really a great fun working with these guys.
Yeah, and I saw the Twitter activations and the cars with the different graphics. I mean, that was very exciting and just an in-your-face in a great way that really showed people that, you know, what you want to do in esports. That was really exciting.
Good to hear.
Yeah, and you know, going forward now, having seen that, you know, what's BMW's vision, you know, regarding investing in the esports sector now? Is it a play for future customers, you know, because you know the esports demo is on the younger side, and you know, what in your view was the ROI from these previous campaigns, sponsorships, and maybe what you're looking for next?
Well, our main target for sure is brand awareness, and within younger target groups, I would say, you know, this is something we really need to reach out now. With our engagement, we are reaching out to the so-called Y and Z generation. These are people born between 1980 and 2010. And everybody of them is really like a digital native. So these people are really, really important for us. So esports is a high relevant topic among these target groups. Therefore, we want to be part of their life. So this is something which is the most important thing for us to achieve. And this is on what we are working the whole time. So we have now one story to reach out to a global and highly interesting target group, because this target group is not only well educated, they are globally and they are digital. I can reach them all over the world with one little story, with one hashtag, with these 5 teams. So this is something we learned, we achieved, and this is the thing we really want to look forward into. And these people are our customers of today and also of tomorrow. And in the end, it's all about selling cars, for sure. But
yes, yeah, makes total sense.
Right. But first of all, we want to give these young people a reason to love BMW, because if they love the brand, maybe in some years they will sell a car. If they're thinking of a car, they think, I love BMW. So this is our main goal we are working on, and this is our great achievement. And I think with our global campaign, we did the global buzz, we did the brand awareness we need, and we are still working on, and there is so much more to conquer in future.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. And then, you know, looking at your involvement in esports, what has been effective for you and what hasn't? And, you know, it's like, now that you've got these campaigns in the can and you've run them and the activations, there seems like there could be a lot of data now for you guys to look at in terms of these things. So, you know, what is it that you've seen that works and what hasn't?
Good question. Half a year later to check what is working and how is it working. We learned a lot about the esports community and the way they communicate, and what is not naturally the way BMW communicates. And let me tell you, my personal vocabulary grew a lot within the last month. And I've learned a lot. And but that's the reason why we started dedicated BMW esports channels, for example, on Twitter, to communicate the right way, to use memes, to use prank stories, to be part of funny posts, because this is something which we really have to learn at BMW. Esports is not working on the official classic BMW channel. We really need to have the interaction with the community, which is a really important thing. And however, the community is not really interested in brand and luxury stuff. So that's the other thing of the story. So we learned that we need to be part of their journey and their needs in gaming. So that's why BMW is contributing to the community and also to the performance of the teams. We want to deliver benefits, not a product or a logo placement. So we really hear into the people what they need and what they wanted to be as part of the esports community. And it is really important to deliver benefits and to give the fans the opportunity to interact with their idols, to bring them together, to learn from them. And in the end, we are learning every day. Every day is new. The esports world is growing fast, it's moving fast. So we are always on, always, to check how we have to adjust our strategy. And we are really have open eyes, open mind, open ears to check what's the next level, what's the next highlight to conquer, how can we contribute, how can we communicate. And we are working with our teams every day. We are talking to them, we are learning from them, and we try to find a way which is the best one for a company as BMW is, because on the one hand, a classic automotive company, and on the other hand, a company which is really future related, which is innovative, and which is interesting to be on time and to be, to catch up with the future.
You know, it just makes total sense. And it's, looking at the strategies and looking, at the things that you guys have seen, and this will be the last question for you. You've been more than wonderful with your time. We've seen a switch to digital in terms of advertising dollars, meaning advertising dollars that used to go to traditional like TV, cable television, and things such as that is now moving to Twitch and Twitter and Instagram and things like that. Have you guys noticed that same trend at BMW, and have you attacked those sectors in terms of activations and sponsorships?
Oh, yes. Yes, we did. We did really. So we are in a transformation process, as you call it, from the traditional world, which is still existing because it's a bit target group related, to a new world. So we are working on both hands. So esports is something for the younger target groups. It's more home-based in the new world. It is fully digital. And let me tell you, these people, the best benefit you can give them to bring them a bit into the traditional world, to bring them physically together with their idols. That's the funny thing. It's fully digital. And the cool thing is to bring them together in a physical way on an event with their idols. The traditional world is more like a classic event, and meeting the teams, meeting the fans, everything like that, seeing them in television. And for those people, it's new that an event can be also digital. So it's the funny thing around. So we are working on both stages. And you're right. The new way of communication is mainly digital. And this is really important because especially in these COVID times, we've learned a lot about that. It helps topics like sim racing. It helps topics like gaming, like esports, to be really part of the top topics in the world. And hopefully we can learn from esports how to communicate in future in a classic, serious communication way. So I think, a big yes again, the world is getting more digital.
Well, Pia, I just want to say thank you so much for your time today. This has been a wonderful experience. And, sitting here, I've learned a lot from you. And on behalf of Esports Rising, I just want to say, thank you so much for coming out and sharing your wisdom with us. And I hope to see you again.
Yes, thank you very much. Also from my side, I enjoyed this time with you, talking to you. And thanks for having me, and have a good time. Talk to you next time.
Thanks so much.
Bye.